So this roof is what we would call a walkable roof, meaning the pitch of the roof is not so steep that, you know, the average person can't walk on it. Obviously don't recommend homeowners to walk on their roof. I recommend you to hire a professional. A lot of us, you know, roofers, different tradespeople actually have some special shoes or boots with certain soles, and even some that, you know, have a pad on them that grip the shingles, but this is a walkable roof. If we kind of span over here, that is a much steeper roof. I'd recommend having some harnesses, some ropes, or be an experienced climber to really get on a roof like that. So another term is a roofing penetration. That's any point, whether it's a pipe boot, a roof vent, a chimney going through the roof, etc. Anywhere where there's a penetration through the roof down into the attic. So another term we use sometimes for a roof is cut up. So this roof is actually not that cut up. It's more of a simple roof. It's simple gables, etc. Some roofs that have a lot more architecture, a lot of gables, a lot of hips coming down, a lot of different cutouts coming out of the roof. Those are a cut up roof, and that speaks to the complexity. There's way more hips and valleys and ridges and things like that versus just like your simple gable roof is basically just two slopes meeting together at a point. So we also install impact rated shingles. In the last 2 years, we've had a hailstorm in 2024 and 2023 that caused damage to literally thousands of roofs. Both of the sizes of those hail were 2 inches and under. If they would have had an impact rated shingle class 4 or higher, likely they could have withstood that damage and not had to see replacement. Your normal shingles are not impact rated, meaning hail even as little as 1 inch to 1.25 inches at the right velocity and speed could cause damage. So back here, just a few common items that you run into. So we have under here, sort of against the brick, that board, the freeze board, just a piece of trim kind of covering up the gap between the brick and where the brick ends and the top of the frame in there. Here we have our soffit board. You can see that's obviously quite damaged from water damage, the roof leaking and gutters backing up. Right here is our fascia. It's typically what a gutter is attached to if you have gutters. Also, the fascia goes up, and this flat run of roofing right here is called an eave. Step right around the corner here and I'll show you a rake. Sometimes people aren't as familiar with those terms. The eave being the flat part of the roof edge, the rake being the diagonal part. You can also see the roofing drip edge there is under the shingles. It comes down on both the eave and the rake, and that's, as its name, drip edge. It's so that when water comes over, it drips it out away from the edge of the house, keeps it off the fascia, tries to keep it away from the house a little bit. Going up onto the roof here, right on top of the drip edge, we have our shingles. Under that, there is a starter strip that goes around the eave and the rake all around the perimeter of the home. This typically has a sticky sealant strip on the edge of the shingle, and that helps the first row of shingles, because each row of shingles after that has the bond of the next shingle to attach to. On the edge, it has to have the starter strip so that it has something to attach to. Going under that is our roof underlayment. This has, pull a piece off here, this actually has an asphalt-based roofing felt. It was made in 15 or 30 pound. Today, we use more often a synthetic felt paper, more reinforced, lasts longer, stands up to water a little bit better. This roof actually has lead pipe boots. You can see those up here. They make a lot of different kind of pipe boots today. There's metal pipe boots with rubber collars. They make PVC whole things that fit over. You can obviously do copper ones. Metal is popular down here. One little problem, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but the squirrels love the lead. It's kind of like their crack. They keep coming back and they just chew your whole pipe boot up until water is leaking into the house. So coming up on the roof, we'll check some more stuff out up here. Right here we have a roof vent. You can tell it's been here for a long time. This could be bathroom ventilation. This could be a dryer ventilation as well. Right here we have a valley. This is a metal style valley. It's called an open valley. That's where the shingles come. They're trimmed back. You have a 10-foot metal stick installed continuously, and it allows the water to flow. You can also have weaved valleys where these shingles would actually come together and weave, or you can have a cut valley where one side would go up on the other side, and then the shingles would be from this slope would be installed and cut even. We mostly in South Alabama either do open valleys like this, or we do weaved valleys just because of the heavy amount of rain we get. They hold up the best. Coming over here, sometimes you hear components like a roofing square. A roofing square is essentially a 10-foot by 10-foot area. It's 100 square feet. That's one roofing square. So if the total of a roof surface And the difference, notice a roof surface, not the housing square footage, but the roofing surface square footage is 4,000 square feet. If you divide that by 100, that would be 40 roofing squares. So that's some common terms we use. This I'm walking on right here is actually called the ridge of the roof. It's the high point where two slopes meet. We actually don't have any hips on this roof. Hips would be if you had a point where its slopes met and it went down diagonally. So this is traditionally what's called a gable roof with other gables coming out of the roof. So essentially just have the back and front slope meeting together and then other slopes tying into it that are essentially just a back and a front. So obviously on this back side here, we've repaired and replaced some of the framing, the rafter system. They're actually going back on with sheathing now, or decking. So that's what the shingles are actually going to be attached to when we go back on. So those are just a few of the common terms you may run into in a roofing or renovation project. If you come across any we didn't cover in this video, drop a comment below. We'll be sure to get you an answer. Stay tuned for next time.